I suppose most excavators would confess to a feeling of awe, almost embarrassment, when they break into a tomb closed and sealed by pious hands so many centuries ago. 33 centuries had passed since human feet last trod the floor on which we stood. and yet the signs of recent life were around us. A half-filled bowl of mortar, a blackened lamp, the chips of wood left on the floor by a careless carpenter. We had penetrated 2 chambers, but when we came to a golden shrine with doors closed and sealed, we realized that we were in the presence of the dead king. We were to witness a spectacle such as no other man in our time had been privileged to see. I carefully cut the cord, removed the precious seal, drew back the bolt, and opened the door, when a second shrine was revealed, even more brilliant in workmanship than the last. With intense excitement, I went forward and unbolted the inner door. They slowly swung open. There, filling the entire area within, stood an immense yellow quartzite sarcophagus. It effectually barred any further progress until we could raise the lid. Then a decisive moment. None of us but felt the solemnity of the occasion. In a dead silence, the huge lid, weighing over 1.25 tons, was raised from its bed. Light shone into the sarcophagus. How disappointing! The contents were completely covered by linen shrouds. But as the last shroud was rolled back, a gasp of wonderment escaped our lips. So gorgeous was the sight that met our eyes. A golden effigy of the young king of magnificent workmanship filled the whole of the interior. This was but the lid of a series of 3 coffins, nested one within the other, enclosing the mortal remains of the young King Tutankhamun. Laid on that golden outer lid was a tiny wreath of flowers, as it pleased us to think the last farewell offering the widowed girl breathed to her husband. Among all that regal splendor, everywhere the glint of gold, there was nothing so beautiful as those few withered flowers. They told us what a short period 3,300 years really was. But yesterday and the morrow.
That means a date. Not like just going around with the crowd. Just me and the girl. Well, that's all right. Only, what girl? Who?
How do you choose a date? Whose company would you enjoy? Well, one thing you can consider is looks. Woody thought of Janet and how good-looking she was. He'd really have to rate to date somebody like her. Yes, he'd enjoy that. Except, well, it's too bad Janet always acts so superior and bored. She'd make a fellow feel awkward and inferior. Well, perhaps someone who doesn't feel superior. There's Betty. Yet it just doesn't seem as if she'd be much fun. What about Anne? She knows how to have a good time and how to make the fellow with her relax, have fun too. Yes, that's what a boy likes. He wants to know he's appreciated. Anne would be fun on a date. So Woody decided he'd ask Anne for this first date. But just how should he ask her? And what if she refused? No, it won't be easy asking for that first date.
Well, Woody, hi.
Hi, Ed.
What you doing?
Just thinking.
Don't work too hard.
Ed, is this private?
No, stick around if you like.
Hello, Edward. I thought I heard you come in.
Hi, Mom. What's for supper?
Oh, Mom. Is it all right with you if I have a date Saturday night?
Well, of course, you generally go out on Saturday.
Hello. May I speak to Mary, please?
But, Mom, this is different. A date. I haven't asked her yet, but I'd like to take Aunt Davis to the high teen carnival.
Oh, Anne's a nice girl, but a date. Well, you're rather young.
Oh, Mom, give him a break. I think he can swing it. We all have to start sometime.
Well, if you don't overdo on dating, Ed knows what I need. Weekends only and not too late.
Thanks, Mom. I just go up and check on the night. I think I can get by a little earlier than usual.
How's 7:30? All right, Mary. Bye now.
Boy, sure make it sound easy. How do you do it?
Practice, my boy. Experience.
But I don't think I'll know what to say, what to talk about.
Oh, don't worry, Spot Bass. Just be your natural, talkative old self. Come on, let's get you something.
Wait. Oh, Mom, was I yet?
Yes, you come in.
Hello. This is Woody. I'm Alan Woody. May I speak to Anne?
How do you ask for a date? What about this?
Anne? Well, how about a date? Well,
Really? No thanks.
Well, suppose he did it this way.
Anne, what you doing Saturday night?
Well, I guess I'm busy.
Oh, yeah? Any chance of giving him the brush out for me?
Well, of all the nerve.
Well, is there another way?
Anne? This is Woody. Well, I have a ticket for the high teen carnival Saturday, and, well, would you like to go?
Why, yes, Woody. I'll have to talk to my folks about it, but I think I can go. That would be fun.
Yeah. Well, shall I pick you up about 8 o'clock?
That's fine, Woody. 8 o'clock Saturday. I think it'll be all right, but I'll let you know for sure. Bye. No, silly. We're going to the hiking carnival. And then you'll bring me home. Oh, that doesn't sound like much. We'd have fun at the carnival, you and I, wouldn't we? Oh, yes. Well, Woody and I are going to have fun in just that way. I think the important thing about a date is to have a good time. You don't need to spend a lot of money to do that. Just enjoy whatever you do. Whether it's movies or parties or anything. And you leave your boyfriend enough money so he'll ask you again. My, you'll be out late. Why not? Especially out late. Mom and Dad and I have an agreement about what time to come in. Look, maybe honey and give us something from the bathroom? Sure.
Mom, do we have any cleaning fluid? Oh, my goodness,
You know we have, Bob. Look here, let me.
No. That's it, son. Look your best. Your first date is mighty important. Yeah. Hey, Ed, were you excited the night of your first date? I sure was.
So was I. I took my date seriously. A date was a major event. When the night of my first date, my date had a flat tire and he was an hour late. And he didn't even bother to call me. But when he finally came, I had to run upstairs and do my face and my hair all over again. Oh, I was so upset.
That fella had a lot to learn about girls. Your mother lost all interest in him after she met me.
And the moral of that story is that I should be on time tonight, right?
You bet. And the same goes for Ann.
Any girl who can't be ready on time for a date isn't good enough for my boy.
can I say? You make my day. I like your stuff. Can't get enough. This bliss I feel, it's deep, it's real. Would you agree? Can't you tell me? I don't want to fool you if you feel it's not true. I don't want to scare you when I talk of us two. I don't want to show you a face you can look through. I don't want to hurt you unless you want me to. Despite my rush, you're not a crush. My loneliness matches your dress. You can't ignore this open door. We can't erase desire's trace. Desire's trace. I don't need to follow any advice to know. I don't need your sorrow, but hope for tomorrow. I don't need your shadow, I envy your pillow. I don't need your photo, only your libido. What's to be won? You're with someone. Soon you'll decide who's at your side. Well, anyhow, that's all for now. So you and me, when will we be? When will we be? When will we be? So
what I've done for them. It's what they've seen that I've done.
And yet they booted you out in 1977.
Well, I think booted is a strong word. We were defeated, but within less than a month after the defeat, they were coming back to me because there was such a very sustained malicious propaganda that people were taken in by it.
When people like your own parliamentary spokesman describe you as the woman to whom the gods have entrusted the destiny of India, what's your reaction?
I haven't even heard this phrase. I don't know who's used it.
Do you regard that kind of phrase as a meaningless extravagance?
Yes, and maybe in India, most speeches are full of this. If you see the addresses that are presented to anybody, not me, anybody at all, you will be full of phrases like this.
Do you ever feel that you have in any way abused the trust that the Indian people have put in you?
Certainly not.
I'd like, obviously, because that's a question directed towards the state of emergency which you declared in 1975, when you gave yourself very great powers, and you explained, if I'm right, when you wrote to the President requiring the permission to carry out the state of emergency. Information has reached us which indicates that there is an imminent danger to the security of India. What was the precise nature of that danger?
I'm afraid you can't say anything with great precision.
But you talked to your people of the deep and widespread conspiracy of which you were sure they were aware. What conspiracy?
Well, it's obvious that now the whole subcontinent has been destabilized.
But this was internal upheaval.
It was supported from outside.
But you required the special powers on the basis of internal upheaval?
The question was, had it been only internal with no foreign interference, one could have dealt with it in a much easier way. But it is
Even
far...
mention, with respect, you didn't mention.
Why should one mention everything? No, one doesn't mention everything at any time. Why should one?
Could I?
But it's very obvious when people have followed the doings of international agencies and who was present in India at one time. And what is happening today is borne out everything that we suspected earlier.
Can I put to you the findings of the Shah Commission which was set up to inquire whether there were any cause to take you to court and have you condemned for excesses, abuses of power? In that report, they quote on the basis for your requiring this emergency, no evidence whatsoever. Police reports, Home Ministry reports, your intelligence services have given you no evidence whatsoever.
It is not true at all.
What did they give you? What have they told you precisely?
It's not because they're telling me I'm Prime Minister, I have the business to know. And all reports do not come through police. They come through other heads of other states and very, many other agencies. But they also had given those reports. How did Justice Matthew know, for instance? And many other people who spoke at that time. This report is an entirely prejudiced, one-sided report. They've completely ignored whatever people have to say on the other side. Most of the people who have given evidence are government servants whose whole livelihood and future depends on what they said here.
Do you not
People
respect
have
Justice
been,
Shah? He was, after all, a former Chief Justice of
who
the
had
Supreme Court.
expressed himself very strongly against me and my policies before being appointed.
What has he said?
He made speeches against us.
His speeches against you.
Well, not me personally, but against our policies. And he appeared against us when we... in fact, the Parliament wanted to impeach him at one time.
Is not the reality is that he found against you in reports on one occasion.
But he opposed bank nationalization very, very strongly too. And it's after that that he's speaking continuously against me.
Mrs. Gandhi, was it a mere coincidence?
And I don't think that in any other country they would appoint, even in India, there's seldom been a case where somebody who's known to be anti has been appointed to inquire against that person. In fact, at the same time, another judge was approached, but because I had superseded him, he refused to take up these things because he thought that people would not think he was fair.
Mrs. Gandhi, was it mere coincidence that at the same time the Allahabad High Court had said that you could stay in office as Prime Minister provisionally, but had found you guilty of electoral malpractice, and that therefore there was a serious risk that you would not be able to remain Prime Minister? Was that just a coincidence that
No,
this
it
came
was
at the
not
same
coincidence.
moment?
It was not a coincidence.
You
Because
weren't
the
trying to escape
opposition...
from that, I mean.
How does it help me to escape? Now, if I wanted to remain Prime Minister, all I had to do was to listen to the party bosses. They would not have wanted me out at all. I would have been Prime Minister for life. It is because...
holding office under the findings of the court.
Yes, but on what issues? And if you look at your own newspapers, they all said they were very trivial issues.
Mrs. Gandhi, I must ask you, did you not concoct a threat to the survival of the state in order to ensure your own survival
I'm
of
afraid
power?
that's a very rude question. And it's entirely baseless. There's nothing at all to base it on.
Well, the Shah Commission, to which I must refer, because it was a commission set up by the government, it's a judicial inquiry, and he is an eminent judge, says very clearly that the reason for, if I can quote Justice, if I may, you said I've asked you a rude question.
No,
I want
but
to,
may I-
can I
may
just
I
defend?
just- no,
could
may I just say
I
one
would just like to say one thing about what is in the report, if I may, because what he says is that the only evidence he can find is the Allahabad judgment, and on the basis of that, he says thousands were detained, and a series of totally illegal and unwarranted actions followed, involving untold human misery and suffering. That's why I put the question. I don't put it out of a desire to be rude to you, Mrs. Gandhi.
Is in a parliamentary democracy, is a judge competent to override what Parliament has done? The decision I took was ratified by the Cabinet and by the Parliament. It was not only accepted, it was applauded by the entire nation. Had we held the elections in 1976, we would have won hands down. Now, we did not hold the elections because the state of the economy was such at that time. The political situation was all right. But the state of the economy meant that we could see that if we continued, I don't mean us as people, but the policies we were pursuing, if they continued, we could give India a sound and stable economy. Had we held the elections then, this would not have been possible. Therefore, we jeopardized our political future and chose giving political stability, economic stability and soundness to India, rather than saying, well, let us be sure of our election.
Why then was it necessary to imprison Mr. Morarji Desai, who then became Prime Minister of India? Was he an economic threat to the state?
No, these were the people who were destroying democracy.
Destroying
democracy.
How?
Because, well, I'm sorry that you people have such short memories, but because they felt they could not win an election, they said, we must take the battle to the streets. Mr. Morarji Desai is on record in an interview having said, we are going to surround the Prime Minister's house, we are going to surround Parliament, we will see that no business is done. That the Prime Minister cannot come out, nobody can go in. Another member of the opposition, now a minister, said that if we cannot win by the ballot, we shall win by the bullet.
Later, we all become aware of the passing of the years. But every now and then, we get a sharp reminder that time is moving on rather quicker than we expected. This happened to me last month when we celebrated our 40th wedding anniversary. I was very touched that so many of you were kind enough to send messages of good wishes. There is no point in regretting the passage of time. Growing older is one of the facts of life, and it has its own compensations. Experience should help us to take a more balanced view of events and to be more understanding about the foibles of human nature. Like everyone else, I learn about what is going on in the world from the media. But I'm fortunate to have another source of information. Every day, hundreds of letters come to my desk, and I make a point of reading as many of them as I possibly can. The vast majority are a pleasure to read. There are also sad ones from people who want help. There are interesting ones from people who want to tell me what they think about current issues, or who have suggestions to make about changing the way things are done. Others are full of frank advice for me and my family, and some of them do not hesitate to be critical. I value all these letters for keeping me in touch with your views and opinions. But there are a few letters which reflect the darker side of human nature. It is only too easy for passionate loyalty to one's own country, race, or religion, or even to one's favorite football club, to be corroded into intolerance, bigotry, and ultimately into violence. We have witnessed some frightening examples of this in recent years. All too often, intolerance creates the resentment and anger which fill the headlines and divide communities and nations and even families. From time to time, we also see some inspiring examples of tolerance. Mr. Gordon Wilson, whose daughter Marie lost her life in the horrifying explosion at Inniskillin on Remembrance Sunday, impressed the whole world by the depth of his forgiveness. His strength and that of his wife and the courage of their daughter came from their Christian conviction. All of us will echo their prayer that out of the personal tragedies of Inniskillin may come a reconciliation between the communities. There are striking illustrations of the way in which the many different religions can come together in peaceful harmony. Each year I try to attend the Commonwealth Day interfaith observance at Westminster Abbey. At that service, all are united in their willingness to pray for the common good. This is a symbol of mutual tolerance, and I find it most encouraging. Of course it is right that people should hold their beliefs and their faiths strongly and sincerely. But perhaps we should also have the humility to accept that while we each have a right to our own convictions, others have a right to theirs too. I'm afraid the Christmas message of goodwill has usually evaporated by the time Boxing Day is over. This year, I hope we will continue to remember the many innocent victims of violence and intolerance and the suffering of their families. Christians are taught to love their neighbors, not just at Christmas, but all the year round. I hope we will all help each other to have a happy Christmas, and when the new year comes, resolve to work for tolerance and understanding between all people. Happy Christmas to you all.